As you guys know, Euro 2021 is around the corner, and in this video I will show you guys my preferred England lineup for that tournament. For the goalkeeping position, I've gone with Dean Henderson, and in my opinion, he is England's best goalkeeper. I think he's very talented, he's still young and he's still developing, and in this past couple games when De Gea hasn't been available for Man United, Henderson has been a superb keeper for them. And I think if you want to build a future for that position, I think Dean Henderson is your guy. And I think his quality is very good. Last season he was superb with Sheffield United, and I think he deserves to play for England in the Euros. And I think Nick Pope deserves a shot. I think he's been a very solid keeper for Burnley, and we all know that Pickford is going to go to Euros, even though his quality consistently isn't there. But he's like a moments guy. Sometimes he can pull off those great saves. But overall, I would go for Dean Henderson. The right back position is none other than Reece James, my guy. Obviously, I'm gonna back my guy, and in my opinion, I think he's the most complete English right back. We got so many top class right backs, and England is so blessed in that position. And I think they got Walker. England has Trippier, Trent, Alexander-Arnold, Wan-Bissaka, Max Aarons. There is so many. James Justin, is unbelievable, the depth of this position for England. And I think Reece James has been a very consistent player for Chelsea. I've been watching him this year. I think Trent has been having a down year, and I think he's defensively struggles, and I think he is a system player. And I think England, with the manager that they have, they like it. They like the system, and I think overall we need someone who can be consistent, and you can put basically good performances no matter what the system is. And I think Reece James is your guy. I think Kyle Walker is a good shout too. I think he's been very good for Manchester City. However, I think Reece James is better on the ball. I think he's very press resistant, and I think defensively he's very solid. And I think a lot of people give shouts to Wan-Bissaka, but I just don't think he's good enough on the ball. And I think he's a very, not one-dimensional, but I think he still needs a lot of improvements on his attacking department, and that's why I will go for my boy Reece James. The centre-back partnership that I've gone with is John Stones and Harry Maguire. I think these duo are pretty much very complementary. I think they are both very good on the ball, and we already know that Harry Maguire is very slow. I think he moves like a fridge, and he just doesn't have the pace, the recovery pace. And I think John Stones, he's been arguably a top 3 center back in the league this season, and I think his quality and his performances next to Ruben Dias has enough evidence for Southgate to pick him and play him in that starting 11. I think his quality on the ball is superb. I think he's very good at reading the game, and I think his distribution from the back is amazing. And I think there are a couple other center backs that they deserve a shout to start. I think Tomori, if he continues to get game time for AC Milan, I think he may start. I'm not sure, but I think players like Tyrone Mings, they might get a shout. Tarkowski, I think, but again, I think he's not really the type of defender that England needs. A lot of people say Lewis Dunk, Connor Cody, but for me, I just don't think they're up there. I think, but for the future, we have a lot of young center backs, players like Ben White, Mark Guehi. They got a lot of talent, and I think if they get the amount of game time that they need, and they actually play for a better club, and they develop their game, I think they're gonna get better shots for the future. However, my partnership is Maguire and Stones. I think they're gonna complement each other very well, and I think it's gonna be the best center back duo for England at Euros. The left back position is going to be a bit controversial for many people, and I think a lot of people are going to say Luke Shaw, and I would understand why. I think Luke Shaw has been the best left back in the Premier League this season. However, I'm going to back my guy Ben Chilwell, and I think he deserves to play for England. I think we got to look at their past too. I think in the past 2 to 3 seasons, Ben Chilwell has been the better left back, and I think this season, because of some minor injuries and some tactical changes, he hasn't been able to fully cement his spot in the left wing back position that we are playing right now. But I think recently Tuchel has been more open to use him in the left wing back position. He's been doing well, as we saw against yesterday's performance versus Sheffield United. And I think his pace is amazing. I think he's very good at crossing. His defending is very good. He's aerially very dominant for a left back, and I think he's going to be a complementary player for Harry Maguire on that left hand side. I think Maguire lacks that pace, and I think Chilwell is going to provide that for that. I think he's going to give him he's going to give Maguire extra cover, and I think it's going to be a very good back four, a back four of Reece James, Stones, Maguire, and Ben Chilwell, and in behind we got Dean Henderson. I think it's a very solid back four, and I think this back four could be very well, and it's going to be working very well together, considering that the midfield two, I'm going to go in the front of them. So obviously I've gone with a 4-2-3-1, and the two midfielders I've gone in front of the back four are Declan Rice and Mason Mount. Obviously they're best friends, and we all know that they've been one of the best midfielders in the league this season. Declan Rice has been a phenomenal captain for West Ham and this season, and I think he's been showing his qualities. Declan is a top class player, very efficient on the ball, very good at progressing the ball from the deep areas. Defensively, he's a monster. Also, he's versatile, and he can play in a defensive back four. What did I say? I mean, as a center back, and I think he can be based on tactical changes. If Southgate wants to switch to a back three, we can move Declan Rice to a back three. And the reason I've gone with Mason Mount, I think he's the perfect box-to-box midfielder to complement Declan Rice. I think we got Jordan Henderson in that position, and I think Jordan Henderson, we should maybe use Jordan Henderson and Declan Rice against like the stronger teams. Maybe if you face like a Spain or like a France or a Germany, we should go for a midfield two of Rice and Henderson because of their defensive solidity. However, I think if you play like against the weaker side, I think the best midfield partnership is going to be Declan Rice and Mason Mount. I think they're complementary. Mason provides that creativity from the deep areas, and also he's very great at pressing, and I think Southgate really likes him. A lot of managers like him, the players that are really great at pressing and they're working hard, and I think he's very underrated, and I think arguably he's been Chelsea's best player this season, and I think him and Declan can make a great partnership in the midfield. For the number 10 position, I think this is going to be one of the easiest positions to pick a player from, and I think a lot of people are going to agree on this, and I think it's a simple one. It's none other than Jack Grealish. I think Grealish has been Aston Villa's best player for a good couple of years, and I think the guy has been on a superb run of form this year. He creates magical moments. He has a free role at Aston Villa, and I think Aston Villa heavily rely on him to get results. And I think if we give Jack the same free role that he has at Aston Villa and in the England's lineup, as a number 10, I think he's going to create those spark moments. I think he's going to create those magical moments, and I think his link up with Harry Kane is going to be immense. I think giving him those creative responsibilities are going to be very good, considering that he's going to have help from Declan and Mason from the deeper areas. It's going to be very it's going to be very hard to defend against him. The opponents have to think a lot about him, and I think him operating behind Harry Kane is going to be a dangerous duo. And yeah, Jack Grealish is my number 10. For the left wing spot, I've gone with Marcus Rashford, and the reason I've gone with Rashford, I think he's been a phenomenal player this season for Manchester United. I think him and Bruno Fernandes have been the main reasons that why Man United is so high in the Premier League table, second, and I think they should be lower if they didn't have the two. However, Rashford is a phenomenal player on and off the pitch. He's a superb guy, and I think he's kind of similar to Heung-min Son. I think him and Harry Kane could be able, to link up very well, and I think they're going to be able to cause a lot of damage for the opponents. I think he has the pace, he has the directness, he can cause those, amazing moments, and his finishing is very deadly, he's very clinical, and he's a big game player. And I think Southgate should rely upon him for the Euros, and I think, him on the left flank is going to be very dangerous. And yeah, I think we got a couple players in that position. We got Raheem Sterling, and I think this season his form hasn't been there. If he improves his form and he starts to perform better, maybe he's going to be having a shout in the starting 11. But I think Rashford clearly takes this spot. Obviously, we got players like Hudson-Odoi too. We got Bukayo Saka. However, I think their lack of experience is kind of it's going to be hurtful for the overall team. I think they need a bit more experience. I think overall, if they perform and add more numbers to their games this season, I think maybe for the World Cup they're going to have a much better shout. However, as of right now, my left winger position is going to be Marcus Rashford. For the right wing spot, I've gone with Jadon Sancho, and he's been, next to Haaland, Dortmund's best players. They've been creating a lot of chances, and they've been linking up very well together. And I think Sancho linking up with Harry Kane, it's gonna be a beautiful scenes. And I think Sancho is that type of player that we need on the right flank. I think his link up with Reece James is going to be immense. You know, he's going to be able to cut inside, and you know, Reece James is going to make those overlapping runs, or you know, he can go wider on Jadon Sancho, and Reece James is very comfortable in playing in midfield areas. Obviously, he was a midfielder at Wigan, and I think he can provide those special moments for us. I think him, Grealish, and Rashford is going to be a magical trio behind Harry Kane, and I think he's very good at dribbling. Crosses are beautiful. He's an assist machine, and I think when opponents see a attacking midfield three of Sancho, Grealish, and Rashford, they're gonna be devastated, and who knows how they're gonna defend against it. So yeah, I think they are my attacking three behind the striker. For the striking position, it's a very easy one. The captain of England, and it's none other than Harry Kane. Harry Kane, it's been one of his better seasons this season, and I think if he continues like this, he's going to be able to score probably 20 to 25 goals this season in the Premier League. And I think his link up with Son has been mad crazy, man. I think this guy is a special player, and I think if he wants to win trophies, you gotta leave Tottenham. You gotta leave Tottenham, because Tottenham, they don't win any trophies. They're a small club. So at the end of the day, if Harry Kane wants to be a legendary player, he has to move away from Tottenham. And I think his record for England speaks for himself. I think in the World Cup he carried us, even though he scored a couple penalties and a couple deflections. I think he was still the guy to rely upon in the difficult moments. And I think if he doesn't get injured and if he continues his form, I think we're gonna have a big chance, England to win the Euros. And yeah, guys, this was my starting 11 for Euros. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Drop your comments about this lineup. I'm very excited to see what you guys think about this lineup. Give me your opinions. I think there are a lot of players that missed out on this lineup. I think players like Phil Foden, Jordan Henderson could have a good shout. There is like Trent, Alexander-Arnold, Raheem Sterling. There is so many players, and England is stacked. I think if they want to win Euros, they gotta be organized. Midfield has to be solid, and I think Southgate is going to have a difficult job to pick his best 11. However, this was mine, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. See you later for the next video. Bye bye.